as of this morning, the national average is $3.45 a gallon, up 47 cents in just 1 week. Certain states are seeing even higher prices. In California, for example, the average is already over $5 a gallon, with some stations charging more than $8. Now, a sustained oil spike doesn't just hit the pump. It can push up the cost of food, transportation, and manufacturing.
A week ago, you were paying $2.99 a gallon nationwide for a gallon of regular. This morning, that number has jumped to $3.48. But analysts expect to see prices climb this week above $4 a gallon in at least 20 states.
$2.98 before the war started. $3.48 a gallon right now. That's the highest level since August of 2024. Quite the move in just the span of a little over a week. And, you know, this is another look at gas prices as well. Zooming out, you can see how it's just going significantly higher. Now, it's not just gas, though, John. Jet fuel, right? Jet fuel prices have skyrocketed. United Airlines CEO warning that that could raise the cost of airfare. And diesel as well. Diesel prices, they're actually up by even more than gasoline on a percentage basis. 24% increase. This is a 3-year high. And look, this is bad news for farmers, for railroads, for trucks, and ultimately, John, for consumers, because everyone is indirectly paying the cost of diesel when they're buying stuff.
Before the U.S. and Israel launched airstrikes in Iran, oil prices were $67 a barrel. So in a matter of just over a week, 10 days now, you've had a dramatic increase in a very core cost for business and governments.
As the price of oil goes up, it impacts everything. It really does across the board. You're seeing it hit airlines, whether it's travel, importing or transporting, just about anything. It touches so much of our life. It is not just about what it costs at the pump.
You may think that all of this is incredibly alarming, but don't worry. Donald Trump and his loyalists are on the case.
President Trump says rising oil prices, quote, are a very small price to pay, adding, quote, only fools would think differently. We'll see whether American consumers consider themselves to be those fools or whether they agree with the president on this one.
Are you worried about gas prices right now?
No, this is a short excursion into something that should have been done for 47 years. 47 years it's taken to do this, and no president had the guts to do it.
So he's saying, hey, guys, even though we get the oil, the market's flush, this is fear, I'm still going to insure your ships, so go through the strait. And, you know, that's just part of it. If you want to diminish the Iranian threat, if you want to make sure that this ends up with complete Iran capitulation, sow some guts and go through that strait.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers. We may have to deal with that in the short term.
Short-term and temporary.
Temporary short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain.
Donald Trump ran an entire presidential campaign on the price of eggs and gasoline. He stood at podiums with grocery receipts. He told you he would bring prices down on day one. Now, 10 days into a war that he started, a war of choice, not necessity, gas is at $3.48 a gallon nationally, up almost 60 cents in a month. Oil briefly crossed $100 a barrel for the first time since 2022, and the stock market is in free fall. And his response? He called it a, quote, short-term price increase, a very small price to pay. A small price for whom? Because it is not a small price for the single mother filling her tank in California at $5.20 a gallon right now. It's not a small price for the trucker watching diesel climb 40 cents a week right before spring planting season. And this is the thing that drives me crazy about our politics. These people do not work for you. They do not feel what you feel. They start wars. They call the economic fallout short term. They send your children to fight and then tell you the polling looks great. Oil hit $100 a barrel, and the White House put out a statement saying they have a strong game plan to keep energy markets stable. Stable? The Strait of Hormuz is shut down. 20% of the world's oil supply is stranded. Qatar declared force majeure on its gas exports. Saudi refineries are closing. This is not stable. This is a crisis they created, and they're telling you, don't believe your own eyes when you pull up to the pump. I want to show you how the other half lives. This is Kai Trump. She's Donald Trump's granddaughter, Don Jr.'s daughter with his first wife, Vanessa. And she made a YouTube video, the kind of content you see influencers make all the time, where she goes shopping at Erewhon. Now, if you don't know Erewhon, it is an ultra luxury grocery store in Los Angeles where a smoothie costs $21, a jar of dates runs $16, collagen peptides, that'll set you back $44. She walks in with her cameraman and basically treats the whole place like a playground. Supplements, fancy water, sushi, collagen creamer, just tossing things into the cart. And here's where it gets fun. A hoodie at this grocery store, costs $165. A yoga mat, also $165. She's walking through these aisles joking about how she's going to go bankrupt and needs to file for bankruptcy. The granddaughter of a billionaire president. When they get to the register, her cameraman guesses the total. What will it be? $200? Kai guesses $165, just casually, like this is a game. And for her, it is. And that's the point. The final total, $233 for one bag of groceries. One bag. And some of it was not even edible. She tried the sushi and said it was the worst tuna she's ever had in her life. Fancy water. She said it just tastes like regular water. $16 dates. She couldn't even get them out of the jar. $233 gone. And her reaction is basically, oh, well, like and subscribe so I can make my money back. And I want you to hold on to that number in your head. $233 for one grocery bag, while her grandfather is telling working families gas going up 60 cents a gallon is, quote, very small price to pay. And by the way, let's not skip over this part. Kai Trump rolled up to this grocery store with a police escort and a Secret Service convoy. Your tax dollars, armed federal protection so a 20-year-old can film a YouTube video at a luxury grocery store in LA. Gross. Her grandfather simultaneously bombing Iran, crashing the stock market, and telling Americans rising gas prices, no big deal. I understand the Secret Service's job is to protect, but the optics of a taxpayer-funded motorcade pulling up to Erewhon so the president's granddaughter can buy $44 collagen and $21 Haley Bieber smoothies while the country is at war and people are struggling to pay for gas, that's not a security detail. That is a spectacle, folks, and you're paying for it. This is the disconnect. This is the whole story of this presidency in one YouTube video. $233 for one bag of groceries that Kai Trump will forget about by tomorrow. Meanwhile, families across this country are choosing between filling the tank and filling the fridge. Gas is climbing toward $4 a gallon. Analysts say it could hit $5. The stock market just had its worst week since 2022. Grocery prices are still elevated from the last round of inflation. And now energy costs are about to push them even higher. And the Trumps, they are living in a completely different universe. The universe of Erewhon smoothies and Secret Service escorts to the supplement aisle. And jokes about filing for bankruptcy while buying a $165 yoga mat at a grocery store. That is who is running this country. That is who is making decisions about your economy, your gas prices, your cost of living. People who have never once in their lives had to check a price tag, and they want you to believe they understand what you're going through. They don't, they never have, and this video is the proof.